welcome back to the first qualifier of WCS Valencia for North America. The open qualifier, that is. Over here on the right top side of Proxima Station, a map that we haven't seen yet today. We're looking at the main base of our one and only Scarlett, who seemed quite bored with this qualifier so far today. Just kind of rushed and posted some memes in the chat, wondering when she could play next. Well, this is going to be her final opponent of today. Win, lose or draw. This is the last round for both of these players. Over here on the left bottom side, looking at the man who just defeated my man, Robbie Plata. It is Drunkenboi. And this should be a really fun series. Todd is going to join us in a split second. But I'm excited to be bringing you guys these first moments. Obviously, there's a good chance that it has been a very long night for Scarlett, so we didn't want to let her wait any longer. And we said, well, if the players are ready, we're just going to go ahead and jump into the game. As we see, nothing too crazy yet, except for the fact that the hatch has gone down on the low ground. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean anything in ZVT. And I think it's going to be hard for Scarlett to make some of these super simple builds work. Especially because I really think that Drunkenboi, I mean, normally it's same mechanic as well, but these players are too good to die to very simple rushes. So there is a chance that we're going to see Scarlett macro at least a little bit. And probably spread a lot of creep with this forward hatchery. Because in general, when you look at this map, you play TvZ and you scout the hatch forward, you're like, alright, there's a good chance this is going to be a link flood. Or you play against somebody like Snoot or Scarlett, and then you know the entire map. Or Sarah is just going to be covered in creep. And I guess that's just going to be the case for now. There aren't that many good, you know, CVT builds that I can imagine on Proxima that I'd say like, alright, if you want a cheese, this is truly the build you should go for. And Drunkenboi on the other end is probably not going to be too cheesy either. Not the type of Terran to be too out of line in general. I think he's quite confident in his late game ability. Has decent multitasking, has decent macro as well. As the first Reaper made its way to the other side of the map. I don't actually hear the Reaper. I hope my producer does that. As long as nobody's shouting at me, then I just assume that it's alright and there are game starts. The speed is halfway done for Scarlett, who's also dropping the third hatchery. For Drunkenboi, everything looks normal on the other side of the map so far. Once again, this is the first open qualifier for WCS Valencia. We already had the ladder qualifier, 8 amazing players qualified. Some of them Silky, Game Time, Crew, Bills, Hilly, Neep. And then we had 2 Terrans as well, which were Masa and Sampler.
Sick memory. I heard you digging right there. Like you had a hard time at the end, but then we got to the finish line eventually. We had to dig deep.
I was just thinking about everybody who's not playing today. I was like, all right. Those are the 8.
Actually, I was informed that Sloth is Team Ascension.
Yeah,
you know, TA Pro, yeah, and then they joined them as a title sponsor.
But I think they cut a couple of the players as well, because TASC was just ridiculously big at one point. It's a little bit like if you play NA ladder right now, you play against somebody from Sidestorm Gaming every second game, and you have no idea if it's on the academy or if it's on the stream team or if it's on the main team. That was kind of the case with TASC as well. And I feel they trimmed the team down by quite a bit and just have strong players left now.
It's like a clan, right? Like whenever a team has so many players, it feels like a clan a lot of the time. You know, back in Warcraft 3, there was always the very distinction, in particular on the Korea server, between a clan and a team. A clan is like your friends and the people that you play with, but a team is like your sponsor. And sometimes it was funny because players from separate clans, they were on different teams with other players. Yeah, so you had to make a difference. So.
Like Vera was more of a, for the longest time, Vera was like a community team, right? Like a clan.
Yeah, but like the thing about all of these is that they were huge,
and
the
Rex,
clans,
yeah, Rex
in comparison.
Well, like
yeah, Cherry.
Yeah.
Cherry was huge. They had so many players, but then if you took clans, you know, maybe there some of them were like in handbits or something for their TV games. So it was a weird culture, I would say, but that's how it works over in Korea.
Drunkenboi had a lot of success with his Cloak Banshee in the previous game, and he's like, well, worked once, different matchup, but doesn't matter. I'm gonna just give it one more shot. Taking a look at the main base of Scarlett, the queens are a little bit out of position. Spore Crawler is a little late to the party as well. Is there a layer anywhere? There is no layer. Oh my god. If this Spore would have died, Todd, there is no layer. It's bizarre.
Look at how many queens. Oh my god, that Banshee.
Yeah, it's gonna get one shot at. Kind of a shame that Drunkenboi wasn't paying attention, because the Banshee would have flown to the natural.
Yeah.
There's no spore there. This drone was supposed to be a spore crawler and might still become a spore crawler.
You might as well not make it, I guess, if like the Banshee was... there could be a new one, right?
Yeah.
But look at that creep already.
Yes.
This is insane.
And that's
Like
why
if I try to creep spread only, I would do a worse job than this. And not even macro at the same time.
and Scarlett is actually playing a real game during all of this. So yeah, 6 minutes in, it's so silly. This doesn't even make any sense. But definitely a missed opportunity there for Drunkenboi. Could have done so much more with his Cloak Banshee. In the end, getting 3 drones and forcing a couple spores is nice. But this mineral line was super exposed. And he could have even got the cancel on the first spore. Now, obviously, for the people who wonder, why didn't he do that? Maybe he just assumed that one of the bases was already a layer. And that there was an overseer on the way somewhere. And he just didn't want to waste time shooting at a spore when he could have been killing drones. But Drunkenboi dropped the ball there a tiny bit, Todd. Had the opportunity to do a lot more damage.
Dropping the ball is from American football, right?
Yeah, I guess. Or, yeah, I mean, dropping the ball in American football is pretty bad, so yeah, there is a good chance.
It's bad in basketball again, as well, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to lose it. You never want to drop the ball. Like, which sport can you think of where dropping the ball is a good thing?
Well, I mean, like, which ball do you have to hold it, right? Like, for example, in football, you're not going to drop the ball because
No, you
it's
can
already
be
kind of on the ground,
you
right?
could be a goalkeeper. And you jump, you grab the ball, and then you
I
drop
guess.
it. Moral of the story is, Todd, don't drop the ball.
In any game.
Yeah.
How are you going to drop the ball into the net if you're going to play basketball?
That's good. Then you're releasing it. Matter of fact, taking quite a bit of damage, but these Marines do stand strong and actually clean up the majority of the links. Scarlett played a little bit greedy, actually only having 7 links on the map. There is a Banshee as well that's being annoying.
Yeah,
This Bailing Nest.
you can have all the creep spread in the world. If
Yeah.
you get hit by this drop and you don't have units, you're still going to be in trouble.
Wow.
And now only 2 Bailings were morphed prior to this, so that's all Scarlett's going to have to work with.
Yeah, so the follow-up push is going to be really scary because there's going to be no Bailing speed and the Bailing count is, at least for now, very low. Let's see if Drunkenboi is going to be able to do something about this forward base.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of, Todd? You were there as well, right? In Mexico, Scarlett against Aegis. Wasn't that like this every single game? Where it's just like, Scarlett, you've got like 72 workers, it's enough. And then Aegis is moving out and she's making like 12 more drones. And you're like, no.
Scarlett lost that?
Yeah. See, back then she hadn't lost against
Yeah.
in like 60 series in a row, and then
Yeah.
she lost against Aegis 3-2 in the first round.
I thought for a second, by the way, that Drunkenboi was going to take the bomber approach and not actually remove any creep because of the damage he did as well, where you just make more army thanks to the mills.
Well, we saw it a little bit in his PvT, right? But Drunkenboi is not a super crazy Terran that is all about ending the games as soon as he feels like he has an advantage. He's more about slow and steady wins the race. But against somebody like Scarlett, who you know is going to have a sick amount of work.
Yeah, good luck with slow and steady.
Yeah.
Like she's playing on the Korean ladder all the time
Good
against
thought.
huge beasts.
74 drones. Scarlett decides to add 17 more. Why? Who does that?
The Queen of Blades.
Mutas are going to just chase around. That's so risky, especially with Bailing speed being...
Thor being added on here, I like this. We're seeing the old school Thors come back out up against the Mutas, Link Bane.
Do you think that Scarlett is playing this way because he knows Drunkenboi is indeed like a very macro-oriented Terran and is unlikely to just grab all his units and finish
That's
the game?
quite possible. I think she's feeling very comfortable because even though the creep spread also started being pushed back, she still had so much to work with. So where's Drunkenboi going to engage? He's still going to have to step on creep eventually there. That could backfire very easily, but in this case, Scarlett gets away. Oh my god. He walked right past this. That could have been a lot of links dying there.
If you compare the map vision of Scarlett, the mini-map, and then you look at the map vision of Drunkenboi, it's just a world of difference.
Yeah.
So much map presence for Scarlett. He didn't even split
Look at this,
it.
contaminating 3 of the barracks.
No buying time. Time is obviously on her side when she has 91 drones and 2 upgrades.
Still more banelings being morphed here.
He does know about a couple of those mines. He knows there are mines on the field, as the Mutas have spotted those mines. Drunkenboi has taken a goal. Scarlett's going to try to come in perhaps from multiple angles. 16 more banelings. What's the winner one candidate? 11 though. 11
Yeah,
mines.
that can be dangerous, but usually 60 banings, like, they're not going to be able to get the connections that they want. I can see Scarlett moving in. She's almost maxed out and building up an economy behind it, so she can easily replace those forces.
Oh, look at the winner mine. Winner mine does get a very nice hit off on a lot of those banings. Second mine gets a decent hit off as well. Muda's flying in the main base again, but Drunkenboi left a lot of marines. Oh! Scarlett has a couple overseas.
Was there an overseer?
Yeah.
That's why she saw.
There's like 3. Almost more overseas than Muda's over here. Look at this one bane. Didn't get the memo. All the other banelings had Google Maps and this bane had Apple Maps. Turn left. It's like, I can't!
Can't, there's only cars there. I'll get run over.
There's nothing here.
There is a debris right there.
Where are my friends? Well, little did this little baneling know. Oh, his friends are dead. Dark thought. No other way to put it. Drilling claws being researched and 3-3 upgrades on the way as well. Meanwhile, there's a double drop heading towards the main base of Scarlett. This is still going to be hard, Todd. You know, without any hive units, there's a lot of
the Widow Mines are super clumped up. Let's see if they can get good detonations there. They start connecting. There's still some banelings left over. The splits are good, but there is enough left over maybe for Scarlett.
Yeah, enough to push this back, but don't forget about the double drop in the main base.
Oh my god.
Drunkenboi is going to be able to pick up this spawning pool.
How does Scarlett have more supply? I just don't see it. I guess it's in production right now. 56 Zerglings.
And it's in drones as well. A lot of it is in drones. So macro hedge has been picked up and the spawning pool has been picked up. Could have been worse. Now Drunkenboi is going to march
Look
a
at these
couple
guys.
mines forward.
Cheeky.
Oh no. Split fire.
Is that the one from down there?
Which one? The Bane!
Yeah! Oh my god, he just came back. And he dodged death as well. Just rolled right on top of these guys.
We're gonna
oh, he's going in first.
It's gonna
No, Apple Maps! I hate you.
I want to follow the Bane. I don't care what happens.
I mean, he's gonna die eventually, right?
Todd, you take the casting away. I'm following the Bane. Not all Banelings die, Todd.
How many banelings are there here?
Sorry. I'm focused on my Bane.
What is wrong with you?
There's 11 Banes and one very special Bane. Well, not anymore. I think the Bane has gone. Yep.
No, Scarlett needs to defend that base. She's going to take the engagement. Still a couple of Widow Mines left over. They're going to get cleaned up. And that's a huge cloud of Mudas here. In typical Scarlett fashion, she still has that left over. And that base at the bottom. Who takes that base? Instead of 12 o'clock.
Dr. Disrespect would if he was playing StarCraft.
Oh my god, you're so funny, man.
This map vision is ridiculous. So, like, what can we even say about it? How is Drunkenboi supposed to make any attack that Scarlett is always going to see because of her amazing creep spread? And obviously there's a couple overlords here and there as well. You've got fast-moving Zerglings running around. You've got Mudas flying around. It's just, it feels like it's impossible from this point on for Drunkenboi to do anything other than take a straight-up battle. In which
Does he know about that base?
he's about to.
That's so weird too, that he moves up there. Oh no, yay. I feel like he shouldn't be moving there, like almost no reason. Like the one place he feels he should be attacking is the gold.
Yeah, I kind of felt that the moment that Drunkenboi was able to secure his gold, he was going to be able to push forward, and I really...
Scarlett's going to run by in the natural. Oh, that was sick. That's going to force a lot of banings actually. Detonate onto those depot, but SCVs are going to start dying.
You see that one mine. I think that is silly amount of kills. 19 kills, but if you have, well, still 77 workers. A couple of drones did go down. This is Drunkenboi's attempt, by the way, on trying to do some damage. And this is what happens when Zerg sees everything. Scarlett just has vision over her entire side of the map pretty much. And drops like that. Sometimes it feels silly when Terran players don't drop, but in this case, I don't think Drunkenboi has much of a choice. If he wants to win this game, he's going to have to do it by winning a straight-up fight. And Scarlett's going to try to counter with her Mutalisk over here. Start working on one of these command centers. Looks like she's giving up the gold. There's a lot of banelings just finished morphing. The gold is going to go down. The gold army go down.
She was waiting for Ultras to be there. Finally, one of those is there. Drunkenboi takes a pretty good fight there. Look at the army supply. good splits and pullbacks as well. But Mutas are going to fly in. That's like the plan B. And a pretty strong one. Ultra on the ground. Still doing a lot of tanking. Oh my god, there's medivacs.
Muta's always doing a decent... Oh, that one mine actually got a good hit off. And one of the infestors got picked up as well. These Marauders can't shoot up. So a lot of the supply right now of Drunkenboi is a little bit useless. Now Marines will show up. The problem is Drunkenboi, well, he does know about the other base now. Pongo is going to land as well. A lot of Zerglings are going to show up. And these are some very beefy links with Adreno glands too. So these Marines and Marauders will get picked off. And I feel that we're looking at the beginning of the end. This is one of the upsides, obviously, of... Oh, that might... Just another good hit off. But this is one of the upsides, right, of just having so many drones for the majority of this game. Scarlett can recycle entire armies, can morph 30, 40 banelings, and that's not the only times he can do it. He can do it over and over again.
There's no turret there now. And Scarlett takes game number 1 here. After a barn burner. That's what we say.
Shout out to our boy Colaris, who's out there somewhere, keeping the passion alive. Whether it's with Probius or an actual probe, we will never know. We'll see as soon as we can get into game number 2 between Scarlett and Drunkenboi, we will. That was a very fun game, and I really was impressed with the way that Drunkenboi was playing at first. A couple of the key moments were obviously that Cloak Banshee thought. I really felt the Cloak Banshee had potential to do so much more. And if that Banshee is able to pick up like 12, 15 drones, there's a good chance, and one of your only chances, to actually slow Scarlett down throughout the next phase of the game. And this time Drunkenboi never seemed to be able to do that.
The first double drop did good, but after that it's still very hard to have the momentum enough to be able to keep on applying damage. And then once Scarlett has Mutas, it becomes almost like another game, you know, nothing's safe.
Yeah, there was something that stood out to me, Todd. While that double drop was going on, there was another, well, there was a Cloak Banshee in the back of the natural. I really felt, since Scarlett was playing that greedy, that if on this point, the Drunkenboi had a bunch of Marines and Medevacs running towards the middle of the map as well, I think there is a chance that maybe he ends it, because he sniped the Baneling nest, and there was no Baneling speed for Scarlett either. But on that very moment, you pointed out correctly, he's making a Tor, which is obviously the complete opposite of being, you know, very aggressive and running across
Takes
the map.
forever.
Yeah, and I feel that that Tor helped Scarlett a lot more than it helped Drunkenboi.
And also splits. Like, it's quite weird, because then, like, sometimes you watch, you know, like, Maru, Beyond and stuff, and then you see 6 splits, you're like, why does it every turn do that? Obviously, it's still pretty hard. That's why all of these guys, they're, like, so unique and so good. They're, like, the Beyonds, the Marus, and all these guys, TY. It's almost like the old school force fields. Remember when like there was 2 Protosses in the world that could force field well? that was MC and Liquid Hero. Yeah. And then like slowly but surely everybody else started learning how to force field a little bit better.
I think a lot of the Terran players just muted you for comparing force field to splitting. It's like this damn Protoss. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. It's played on Ascension to Ire. Once again, this definitely seems to be the second map of the day, Todd. Pretty much in every single series.
Remember when force fielding a ramp was like a challenge?
Yeah.
We're like, is he gonna miss it? He only has one thing to do.
You laugh.
You know, I missed so many. For years, I've missed so many force fields on my ramp. I had like one job.
Mine being the best Protoss ever missed the force field that costed him BWI. Like Rain against Creator, man, in the semi-final.
Oh, yeah.
On Cloud Kingdom. He didn't miss one, he missed like 5. Every time, 1 unit too many slipped up. And I was like, oh no. Anyways, let's do the introductions quick. As Scarlett is, of course, spawning in the right bottom side. She is right now 1 map away from qualifying for WCS Valencia Challenger. NA, that is. And over here on the left top side, we're looking at the main base of our American Terran. It is Drunkenboi. And thought Drunkenboi. I actually think Drunkenboi used to listen to a lot of Drake. Now that I think about it, I watched his stream a couple times. And he was always playing the most gangster tunes. Well, you know, he looked adorable. He was always listening to some real American OG rap. Anyways, and then I'm not talking about Drake. You know, Drunkenboi is a Tupac kind of guy. I've heard it on his stream. Yeah. He used to stream quite a bit.
That's better than Drake, so.
I mean,
I approve.
Tupac is better than many artists out there.
Yeah, so why do you always listen to Drake?
Because I've listened to Tupac for like 10 years, and eventually you want to listen to something else. You gotta appreciate greatness. Anyway, Todd, there is a proxy hatchery, and there is a roach wine, and Drunkenboi is not aware of it yet.
Yeah, Scarlett, to be fair, like, it doesn't even feel like, you know, once upon a time we were theorizing, you know, there's delay and stuff, she wants to do this and this. No, she's just having fun with it and doing the doing builds that she knows can be very successful against these opponents here that she's facing, and every single time she executes them really well.
There's a bunker going up already on the high ground for Drunkenboi, which it's going to drop one on the low ground too. Kind of wonder about that. I think defending on the low ground becomes quite difficult, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the STV. The STV has been picked off, and now another STV is taking a lot of damage. This is actually a pretty good start.
Yeah, I
for
think
Scarlett.
Ravagers are such a game changer. Even the build that we saw earlier from Scarlett against M. Canning, without Ravagers,
Would have never worked.
Yeah, it's not possible to pull off. I talked about the style that we saw from Arium, where you go for Immortals and stuff, but even when he got there, M. Canning was still in a world of trouble. And now does the same thing. Scarlett's cleaning up. When the road is going to be low on hit points, she can eventually morph that into Ravager, or even before in this case.
Yeah, one road did go down, but 7
Oh,
STVs have gone down already. I think that Ravager might actually get picked up, or no? Forced to take a detour.
Yeah, and now the rain will begin.
Yeah. But Cyclones are on the way. Do you think he's going to add a tech lap and maybe go for a tank, or is that too risky? Does it take too long?
It feels like you have to, but then they will get corrosive bites. So maybe just full Cyclone and then just try to lock and kite.
But it's actually quite hard, right?
Yeah.
Even with Cyclones.
Well, life is hard.
Especially when you play TvZ against Scarlett. It's very important that Drunkenboi keeps his Cyclones alive, fighting for his tournament life. Once again, this is the quarterfinal, and that's the last round that will be played in this open qualifier. On Friday and Saturday, obviously, we play out the entire tournament.
There's no starboard, right?
No. 7 SCVs have gone down, Todd.
Well, that Overlord went a little bit too far. I think, was she trying to see if there was a starboard? Maybe.
Or a tech lab, I think.
Oh my god, this bunker will take so much damage. Scarlett moving in, taking a lot of damage herself. So far, Drunkenboi is holding on here. That's a pretty impressive defense.
Do you feel like it would? Obviously, the good thing about this for Drunkenboi is that he can actually repair his bunker. Well,
Corrosive Bite is supposed to use behind, right?
Yeah, but obviously Drunkenboi is a good player, so I think he's just going to pull the SCVs. But it's still better to drop it a little bit behind. But I think Scarlett is afraid she's going to take too much damage on her Ravagers. So that's why he decides to drop it in the front. He's going to pick up the one SCV that's building another bunker over here on the south side of the orbital.
It's starting to be a critical mass of Ravagers against which, if you don't have tanks, you're going to be in trouble. If you have tanks, you're going to be in trouble as well. Scarlett's going for it.
Man, the bunker did finally fall, but there are a couple of Cyclones doing quite some damage on the high ground. How much damage will these Ravagers be able to do, or more importantly, tank perhaps? But 5 Ravagers have a lot of DPS, and it's, well, is it 5? No, it's 6. Counting is hard. These Ravagers are so big,
And the tank is now finally on the way.
He's still repair the Cyclone, but he doesn't do it. I actually think this is the end for Drunkenboi. All the Cyclones have gone down.
Yeah, he has a tank about to come out, but that guy can't clean up on his own. And Scarlett, not wasting any time here today. Solid games and qualifies flawlessly here.
5 minutes and 40 seconds took the final game of Scarlett.
She probably had the hardest route of everybody as well. If you look at the opponents, it was Creature, M. Canning, Drunkenboi.
Yeah. Well, all 3 of those are pretty good. But Scarlett made it look easy, and that's why she is Scarlett. Awesome job by her. Let's see if we can jump into some of the other games. Let's take a look at Forest.